Thank you for checking out this video. I gotta tell you, I'm figuring that those of you who are watching are up to big things in your career. And you're looking for secrets, those big secrets that no one is telling you out in the marketplace that's going to make a difference from a stagnated career to one that rises effortlessly in the organization where you're in integrity with yourself. But what we're going to do today is answer 3 big questions that I know are important to you in your career. How do you get recognized by senior management in a good way? Because that's all you really care about. What abilities must you nail to earn $25,000 more a year? How do you manage your to-do list to work powerfully for you rather than against you? Why should you listen to me? Well, for over 30 years, I've been considered a pioneer in the field of women leadership. I've worked with thousands of women to help them reach the career of their dreams. I have worked with entrepreneurial companies, Fortune 100s, small organizations, everything in between. So I'm knowledgeable and ready to support you in gaining traction in your career. Well, now that you've heard all of my credentials, are you ready to jump in and find out what those answers are to the 3 big questions that you actually are watching this video for? Well, the first question is, how do you get noticed by senior management in a good way? What I'm about to tell you is counterintuitive. I know it. So I'm asking you to listen before reaching any conclusions. So are you thinking that the way you get to receive those big promotions out there that you're aiming for is to get your projects done on time and under budget? Or are you thinking that big promotion is going to be coming because you've added huge credentials to your resume? Or are you thinking that you'll get there because you have your nose to the grindstone and you're working harder, longer hours, and really putting in the muscle to make your career work? Or are you thinking that you're waiting to be in the vicinity of senior management so you can kind of casually tell them all of the great things that you've done in the organization to receive promotions? Well, you got to know by now, those don't work. I know. You're going, whoa, wait a minute, Nancy, I've gotten promoted because I've been working hard. That was from lower level to mid-level management. The game changes if you want to reach the senior ranks. The truth of the matter is if hard work and all of that energy that we talked about is what's going to get you a promotion, after 40 years of women being in business, we would be owning the top ranks of organizations all over the globe. And we all know that isn't happening. It requires a different skill set to reach the next levels than what got you here. So start thinking about leadership nuance. The reality is that organizations are looking for leadership mindset. It's people who connect their projects to the bottom line for profit to come in for the organization. It's executives who are looking and developing people and inspiring them so that they're engaged, because you know organizations, it's a big thing to have a population that's engaged rather than disengaged. They're looking for people who can develop leaders because they're harder to get than production people. It's very nuanced. They're looking for strategic thinking. They're looking for people who can run into a sticky wicket in their project and come up with creative solutions, because organizations are looking for innovative thought in their leaders. Pause for a moment. Just look at your senior managers. Did they get to the top because they were the biggest production machine in the organization? I doubt it seriously. They got there because they created nuanced skills that led them to leadership that separated them from the pack. And that's what you need to do if you want to move up the corporate ladder. Very different than what you thought, isn't it? No, I bet you're waiting for the next big question. You're going, whoa, how do I get that $25,000 more a year? What ability do I have to gain in order to get that? Well, Catalyst says it's relationships. Too simple? Well, it is a little more complicated than simply relationships. You know, Catalyst also shows in other research, as well as the work I've done through the years, that women typically create relationships with people at their own level or fairly low level within the organization, whereas men have a tendency to create relationships much higher in the organization. So let's take a pause for you to think about this. Look around at your relationships. Are they peers of yours, or are they high up in the organization? If they're peers and fairly low level in the organization, you've got a lot of work in front of you. And I want you to create relationships with integrity, which means you support them, they support you, which means that you're connecting based upon who you are and the strengths and ability you bring. So the thing I'm asking you to do is look high and start connecting. Connect higher in the organization than you ever thought possible, because the reality is that decisions are being made about your career way higher in the organization than you would ever credit. So what does that mean to you? It means start proactively targeting strategic relationships with integrity. It's going to make a difference to your career. And then we get to your to-do list. The last, but seriously, very critical question. How do you get your calendar to support your career rather than harm your career? Well, you can't do any of the things that we talked about without managing your career. So what I want you to do is look at your calendar right this second and look back a couple of months and look at what you've been doing the last week. Are they production? Or have you been using some of those nuanced skills that I mentioned earlier in the conversation? Because the reality is that if they're production, you are not demonstrating leadership quality to your organization such that they want to promote you upward. So, what we've been talking about is relationships. What we've been talking about is refocusing the priority of your to-do list. What we've been talking about is start demonstrating skills that are far more nuanced than simply production. So, if this information generated some thought in your head and you'd like to pursue it a bit deeper, I have an offer right now that's time sensitive, where I am offering free 30-minute coaching call with me, no obligation whatsoever, where we can look at how to gain more influence for you, how to move you up the corporate ladder, how to get you to have more financial independence because of the work you're doing, how to connect you to the future of your organization, and all of those very important elements that are going to make a difference in your career. So check out the link below. What it'll do is it'll take you to my calendar where you can schedule a time that would be convenient for both of us. I look forward to talking to you. I look forward to making a difference in your career. Much success.